Hi, my name's Dr Stacey Bissell. I'm a researcher at the University of Birmingham. I'm here on our Edgbaston campus to answer some questions. So actually, I have dedicated most of my working life to academic research, apart from a brief stint in retail when I was 16. So I completed an undergraduate degree in psychology here at the University of Birmingham, then went on to complete a research master's in clinical psychology. And it was during that research master's that I was on placement at the Cerebral Centre with Professor Chris Oliver. And that's when I first became involved in genetic syndrome research and first became aware of TSC as a genetic disorder. During that time, I was also working as an autism community practitioner in an adult learning disability setting to actually fund my research masters. So, yeah, I've been doing research for 7 years now. So I really enjoyed the work I was doing on placement at the Cerebral Centre. So I was fortunate enough to then be awarded a PhD to carry on working at the Cerebral Centre, specifically exploring behaviours in TSC, and that was supervised by Chris Oliver and Dr. Lucy Wild. After my PhD, I was then fortunate enough again to be awarded research funding from the Bailey Thomas Charitable Fund. This research project, eSNORE, is exploring sleep and behaviour in TSC, and that's supervised by Dr. Caroline Richards. So early on in my PhD, I knew I wanted to dedicate the rest of my research career to TSC, but the world of research funding is complex and very competitive, so it wasn't necessarily a given that I would be able to continue this line of work. But after 3 years, I'm fortunate to say that I can continue TSC behavioural research. So eSNORE stands for Exploring Sleep in Neurodevelopmental Disorders using Remote Evaluation. So in this study, we are exploring the impact of sleep in children with tuberous sclerosis using remote methods. So a mobile app, and we ask children who are taking part to wear an ActiWatch. So this study is really important as it's the largest actigraphy study exploring the profile of sleep in children with TSC, but it will also help us to establish whether there's a relationship between sleep difficulties and daytime behaviours that we see in tuberous sclerosis. So, self injury, aggression, impulsivity. And it will also allow us to explore the underlying effects that seizures and anti epileptic medications may be having on children's sleep. The simple answer is that we couldn't do this work without patient involvement. So, families take part in this study for a period of 10 days. Their children are asked to wear the watch day and night, and parents are asked to complete the mobile app behavioural diaries on their phone. So this project is actually parent managed. We check in with families during their study week, but parents take complete ownership of their child's data collection. So in actual fact, patient involvement is absolutely invaluable to the behavioural research that we do at the University of Birmingham. My answer to this question would probably differ before and after lockdown. Before lockdown, I really enjoyed traveling and seeing live music and seeing live shows. Since lockdown, I've been listening to a lot of podcasts. I've actually started running as well. I've discovered some really lovely places to walk and run in my local area. So, the area around the Clent Hills and the Black Country Canals. But above all, I really enjoy spending time with my family and friends, either in person or virtually, and lockdown has probably really affirmed that for me. Well, as I've mentioned, eSNORE is a completely remote study. Everything is done via an app or over the phone. And I think that's part of its appeal for many TSC families taking part. Families can actually manage their own participation in the project and complete the stages of the study at their own pace. And I think the current situation has really highlighted going forward how important all forms of remote working will be from now on. So, of course, there are many behavioural assessments that we need to do face to face, but I think where we can prioritise digital and remote data collection going forward for families, we absolutely should. Hmm, that's a tough question. I think I would still be doing a job that involved working with young children and supporting families. So maybe teaching or social work. Yeah, something like that. But if I'm completely honest, I think this is my dream job. I enjoy research, I enjoy statistics, I enjoy writing, I enjoy teaching at a university, and above all, I just love working with children, meeting new people, helping families. So actually, it's hard to imagine doing anything else, if I'm completely honest. So personally, I think going forward, it's really important to have a greater understanding of how TAND-related issues like sleep disorders, eating disorders, mental health issues, um, behaviours that challenge vary across the lifespan in TSC, with a greater emphasis on how these issues present in adolescence and adulthood. But also, I think TSC research needs a greater emphasis on behavioural intervention. So, which existing interventions in autism and ADHD and the general population work, and focus then on trialing these behavioural interventions in TSC. I think this would be really important, as I think that's where there's currently a research gap in understanding more about issues around TAND and how we can intervene. There are a few research projects that I'm working on and will continue to work on after eSNORE. So I'm the cluster lead for sleep and eating behaviour in the Tandem project, which is co-funded by the TSA. And this work is led by Anna Janssen and Petrus de Vries. And there's a lot of exciting things that we've been working on behind the scenes. So we're developing sleep and eating behaviour TSC specific guidelines and recommendations as part of this project. And then the Cerebra Centre, where I started my research career, has now become the Cerebra Network, which is a collaborative research team between Birmingham, Aston, Surrey, and Warwick. And I've just accepted the 4-year research position at Birmingham as the researcher with Dr. Caroline Richards. So we can continue our sleep and behaviour research into genetic syndromes at Birmingham, including TSC. So yeah, there's still a lot of TSC behavioural research happening here. So it's very exciting. I'd just like to say a massive thank you to all of the families I've met over the years. There are so many families I've gotten to know over 7 years who continue to support our research and share our posts online, and it's absolutely invaluable to us how you share your stories and welcome us into your homes to do behavioural assessments and welcome us into your lives. And it's a completely selfless act when families take part in our research. And so, as researchers, we are incredibly grateful to the TSC community.